Wherever I turn right now, I am seeing people talking about reinventing themselves. From social media to YouTube videos, even friends are reading books to try to change their life experience. People are looking for something. Is it discontentment that they have with their current life, or is it something aspirational? Are they trying to move towards something that's more fulfilling? Whatever it is for you, you clicked on this video for a reason. You want the secrets for reinventing yourself. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to give you a list of all of the things you can do. You can find those anywhere. Relocate, change your relationship, change your job, learn a new skill, get healthier, go on a trip, change your environment. There are tons of different things on the outside that you can do to reinvent yourself. And those external things will have some kind of impact on you. I mean, I've relocated numerous times. When I moved to the mountains for 9 years, that was a big reinvention. I changed a lot about myself, not only by moving there, but by immersing myself in the mountain life for 9 years. It fundamentally changed who I am. All of those external things can be very positive changes that can influence you. But what if I told you that reinventing yourself from the outside in isn't the way? What if I told you reinventing yourself by getting to know who you really are, by really understanding at your core what fulfills you, how you're motivated, what different things are going to make you feel fulfillment in every area of your life? What if I told you that that was the way? That you could live anywhere, you could even be in a difficult relationship, you could work at a difficult job, but if you fundamentally start to understand who you really are, the external world is going to change. More importantly, your perspective on the external world is going to change. And that's even more important because you can change all of those things. You can move to mountain towns, you can move to the beach, you can move to Positano, Italy, one of my aspirational places. You move anywhere on earth, but guess what? If you're not doing the inner work, if you're not really fundamentally getting to know who you are and what fulfills you, you can move to any place on God's green earth, and it's still going to reflect back you. You can move from job to job to job, but if you're not looking at what really motivates you and who you really are, you're just going to have bad boss version 1, version 2, version 3. How long is it going to take before you start really looking at who you are and how you manifest your reality, how you attract in experiences, how you perceive and define experiences based on the mindset you have. Reinventing yourself doesn't happen on the outside. It doesn't happen by moving to the mountains and getting into a relationship with someone you've never met before. It doesn't happen that way. It happens on the inside. It happens by looking at who you really are. So one of the reasons why I was so motivated to work with Chris Lema and the team at Motivation Code, because Motivation Code isn't just a quiz. You know, I'm sure you've taken the personality assessments. I've taken all of them. I can't even remember what my Myers-Briggs score was because I was right down the middle on everything. And so it didn't really tell me that much about myself. I remember my Enneagram. That was very interesting. But Motivation Code really changed how I think about me. Here's the thing. Motivation Code does not ask me a bunch of either or questions. I'm not just choosing whether or not I like coffee or tea. Sometimes I like tea. Most of the time I like coffee. What does that tell me about my personality? You see, Motivation Code has me write my story. I tell my story of times in my life in which I found fulfillment. And through its technology, Motivation Code comes back and tells me, here are your motivational dimensions, not just one. It tells me here's your primary dimension. Mine is visionary. My secondary one is influencer, and my tertiary one is achiever. When I put all of those together, I'm like, yeah, that's it. And I understand why orchestrator and optimizer are just nothing interesting to me, and why I did not do well sitting in front of Asana at a last job where they were like, no, you're a project manager and we want you in Asana like 24/7. I'm just like, you don't even know me. All of you Asana people who love project management and making those kinds of lists, more power to you. You empower people like me who have big ideas, big plans, and want to change the world through influence and get recognized for it as an achiever. Knowing who I am really has been pivotal. Now, here's the thing. It's not like I just woke up one day and all of a sudden oh, now I know my motivational dimensions. This is fundamentally changing my life. I've been working on myself for years. No one told me this is how you go find a happy life. I was guessing a lot of the time based on things I thought, things I felt, but nothing really made sense. I started doing public speaking when I was 11 years old at church. I was a lector at church. I kind of just fell into that, and people told me I was good at it. So I was on the debate team, and then I was on the speech team, and then I majored in speech, and I was on the speech team some more. And after college, I didn't really know what to do with that. Why do I like speech? Nobody really helped me understand when I was a kid, like why I liked it. I started getting rewarded. You come home with 4 trophies after a speech tournament and people think you're amazing, and you get rewarded approval and reward from parents, teachers, and friends because you have achieved something. So I must be good at this. This must be the thing that I do. Writing always made me feel fulfilled because I like the creative process, but nobody helped me understand why. Nobody helped me understand why those things were important to me, why I found fulfillment in those things. So my career path ended up being a path of reinvention. Oh, okay. Well, this is exciting to me. I'm going to run with that as far as I can take it. The internet, when the internet first came out, the visionary in me could see where it was going. It could see the impact. Amazon was just a tiny bookstore, and everybody used Yahoo to find sites to visit. There were web rings. I'm not sure if you're old enough to remember a web ring, but search engines weren't really a thing. And social media wasn't really a thing. But I could see where we were going. I could see that it was going to end up in a place like this, but it keeps surprising me, which is another thing that I really love. Security. One of the reasons why I really like security is because of the creativity aspect of it. Hackers are incredibly creative and fascinating individuals who see things beyond what you and I would see. They can see potential in exploits. They could see changing something that other people don't believe is possible. But I never really understood why all of those things were interesting to me until I really owned my motivational dimensions. Imagine what it would be like if you, as a kid, understood that you were motivated by being a visionary, or that you were motivated by being an influencer or a driver. How would that change your life? Imagine how different your life would be if you started to understand who you really were and started to make decisions based on what you knew fulfilled you. Not even necessarily things that you can do or things that you're good at, but what are the things that really fulfill you? If you are looking to really reinvent your life from the inside out, it is a path of exploration. It is a path of discovery. Yes, you can do all of these things on the outside. You can run away to the mountains. Highly recommend Mount Shasta. There are tons of things that you can do in order to find out who you really are. But you can also do it just by journaling, by doing some introspection, by taking the motivation code assessment and seeing what fulfills you. Even going through the process of really writing out the stories of times in your life where you found fulfillment, that in and of itself tells you some things. But the assessment itself, what comes back to you, are really things that can help you change your life. Reinventing your life, it's not something that you are going to do over the course of a year. In fact, it's not something you're going to do a course of 30 days. It's something that you're going to do by just making a decision. By making a decision that you're going to get in shape, that you're going to change your career, that you're going to learn something new, that you're going to get out of a stagnant relationship that doesn't support you and fulfill you, but you're going to find out why you were in that relationship to begin with. Reinventing your life is introspection. It's getting to know yourself. It's getting to know who you really are, what really fulfills you, being open to changing your experience through the decisions that you make for yourself. You can reinvent your life by just making a decision right now. Making a decision that you're not going to put up with bad behavior from someone. Making a decision that you're going to forgive yourself for something that you've been blaming yourself for too long. By making a decision that you're going to take ownership of everything that happens in your life, and you're going to take responsibility and start making some steps towards changing things towards the better. You might even reinvent yourself just by making peace with what is, by making peace with the things that you can't change, and maybe even finding some gratitude in the things that you can't change. Maybe finding some gratitude in the hard things that show up in your life because they have a lesson for you. I've had some hard things show up in my life over the past couple of years, but no matter what has been happening, I am grateful for some of the lessons that I have learned. I'm grateful for the inspiration, for the intuitive messages that I have had that have happened over the course of 2 years that have woken me up to prioritize myself, to prioritize my health, my well-being, and my happiness in the midst of taking care of everything else. Making a decision to know where your responsibility starts and where someone else's stops, and vice versa. Where you're not responsible for someone else, and you take ownership and responsibility for the things that are 100% yours. If it's in your reality, it's there for a reason. Find gratitude in the fact that it's there. Learn from it and take responsibility where you can to change things for the better. That all happens as soon as you make a decision. If you really are committed to reinventing yourself, if you're committed to making a life change for the better, I highly recommend that you make decisions to dream big, to aim a little bit higher. If you think that reinventing yourself means you're going to make X $1,000 per year or month or whatever that number is in your head, I would challenge you that you double it, triple it, quadruple it. Think bigger. And if it doesn't feel like it's possible, ask the question, what is? How could it be? Anything is possible. The only limits that you have in your life right now are the ones that you place on yourself. When you remove the inside limits, you have a limitless experience on the outside. Really important that you get clear with who you are. It's very important before you start looking for external experiences to define who you are, that you look for the internal knowing of who you are so that you can have better receptors when new things show up in your life to teach you a lesson. I hope that this video has inspired you to take a better look at yourself and start doing the internal work of reinvention rather than looking at all of the external things you can do. I'll put a list down below of all of the things that you can do to reinvent your life. You can go ask ChatGPT, it'll give you a list. But really, no one knows how to reinvent your life better than you. But if you don't know yourself, how are you even going to start? The first step is to know thyself. When you know yourself, you know what the second step is. It's a decision to prioritize yourself, prioritize understanding who you really are, and prioritizing a fulfilling life. If this video helped you, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to the security videos. I can do fun stuff like this too. I can do comedy. Maybe I should do comedy. What do you want to see? Thanks for watching.